Hello everyone. I just popped in to, connect with you. The other thing is that I brought this painting up because I wanted to talk about what happens when you've got a painting and it feels stuck. So this particular piece I had the other way around, and there was this blue here was over here. And I'll just show it to you the other way around. So I can't remember. I may have had a blue up here and a blue down here and across, and then it went into white. So I was really loving this gorgeous texture right here. It almost looks like stained wood, and I'm turning the painting so that you don't get my window reflection, but you can see. And so this shape I added a bit later to shift the weight over, and I created that similar sort of wood texture. Now, that wasn't what I was after when I made this painting. Exploring materials, tools will create effects, and then I see what I can do with them. So I like this and I like this. There was a gray in here. I like that. That's not a reflection. It's actually a mid-gray. So when I cover it up with my hand, here we go. I actually like that weight between these two. So, and I'm just noticing that now. I used to have a blue here, and so to counter that, I put some black, some sort of Payne's gray over here to push your eye over this way, and then I put some light over here. It still didn't do what I wanted. I had a black brown here, which I was trying to push the eye up, which worked, but it still wasn't doing it. I had this beautiful veiled streak across the top, and then I came back in and I brought these colors back out again. I didn't like that either. So, I tried a lot of things on this painting. So what's interesting about that I'm sharing with you is that it's not that, obviously you gotta love something in your painting to explore it further. So that is absolutely fine. But if you are trying a number of different things to see if you can enhance that spot and nothing's working, it might be time to let it go. And this is where that kill your darling phrase actually works really well. Because you want to love what you love and see if you can chase, a composition, get that expanded and even finished, like finishing that painting, not trying to, but to really, what's the word I'm looking for? Flesh out that thing. Like there's something really wonderful here, so now I want to flesh it out even more. And so that's what all of these attempts have been, by adding a brown here, covering the blue up here, because I'm trying to enjoy this and explore the weight, but also don't forget about the intuitive feelings and the desire of what it is that I want to express, not just show or create. So there's those different levels of the creative process and that personal expression. So I might have an idea that's up here and I might execute it, that's here, but is it resonating? And it's not just about resonating like it's a great composition. It's like, is that even feeling like me? And the other thing too is if you're pushing yourself to explore more, the new expression, it's going to be a bit uncomfortable, but you are going to feel whether you like it or not. So I like just the shapes, but they almost might not be interesting enough. That could be it. They feel almost round to me. This is where also sitting with it a little bit and asking yourself questions. So I'm going to turn it around now and we'll see how that feels. Now yesterday, like I said, I covered up the blue, but then I brought blue over here and I covered up this brown, put white back in, and I even put, this used to be a veiled area, and then I put yellow oxide over this. So what I'm doing is I'm giving warmth again, but it is quite, you know, a hot spot in the way that it's attractive. And so this gray area here, you know, it's like, I mean, it's okay actually, it's an interesting effect, but I don't know, I might just have to let the whole darn thing go. The interesting thing is that you creep up on that if it's not working for you. This blue area here, you know, I put it in here and then I started to drag it across, which tells me that there's too much, for me, attention on this. And so when I put it here, I dragged it over here and then I covered some of that up with white. So you can see that my actions are telling me I am uncomfortable with this one. I don't have a problem with this one. So that's something too, when you step back, even to look at what you did, there's some actions, some antics that you can, if you take a minute and reflect, you can start catching on to yourself. And actually talking to you about this is helping me identify, like I wonder if I got rid of this whole thing here. It's, here we go. And push the weight that way by putting a lot of light over here. That might be interesting. It's risky because this is quite prominent, so, but there is a gray here. So the gray, here it is. It's hard to do it backwards in the camera. This might be something that I cover up a big chunk. I wonder if I have a piece of paper handy. Oh, that's interesting, because now the only thing is it's almost 50-50. If I can push that, okay, so I like the thinness of this shape to that, but you know, then there's what do you do with the rest of it? Anyway, you notice how I just had that ooh, you know, and so that's a clue too, is when you go, oh, yeah, that could be interesting. So I might, you know, you can just, this is wax paper, and I've painted on it, and then I've pressed it on my painting and then pulled it off. So I could use this and just spritz it. Spritz this and tear this and place it on, and it'll stick. It's not a permanent thing. It's just another way of editing. Well, why don't I try it? See, I need a spray bottle. Okay, there's one over there. okay, that gives me a bit of an idea, rudimentary idea of what, you know, if I like it. Okay, so this is a good spot because it's blocking the reflection from my window. So, and then if I was to do that, which I think is kind of interesting, but then I can tell, you know, what am I going to do over here or down here, probably down here, to get your eye to not just lock onto this. And so then, let's say I did want to do that, I'll sit with it a bit. Yeah, that's me. Okay, what was it? Yeah, okay, so the other thing too is when you're making some edits, you still want to keep enjoying the process. So if I was going to cover this up, then my question is like, how do you want to do that? Do you want to do more paint on wax paper and press it on and see what happens? Do you want to use a paintbrush? Do you want to use acrylic markers? You know, so that's that injection of the curiosity that we have at the beginning of a painting, you know, when the canvas is empty, that blank. That's how you bring that back in when you're editing, is how will I do that so that I'm still having fun, I'm still gonna, you know, discover things, explore things. I'm gonna have a little sip of my tea because I'm tripping up on my thoughts. Maybe that'll help. And this sheet has got the same colors as my painting, so that is actually helping me see, you know, it's not like I put a big green sheet on it. It doesn't make any sense at all. You see how it's got green and it's sort of a grayish white. So that helps if you're using things like that, even just to apply paint, then you can use it for editing purposes. And it's even got a nice little blue speck in the middle, so that's an idea as well. Do I like that? So anyway, that gave me a couple of ideas, and so we'll just see what happens. We'll see what I think. And make sure you put comments in here if you've got any ideas on, you know, how you like to edit, or you know, how that was feeling for you. I mean, feedback is good. It's interesting, isn't it? This middle value here, it's kind of like it doesn't know what it wants to do. Do I want to, you know, be light, or do I want to be dark? And that's fine for a middle value if it's helping you. I think this middle value is kind of, you know, not really serving me. I like that there was this cool as an interesting blend, but I'll show you some close-ups so you can get some of the fun details from exploring all sorts of effects and colors. And let's see if I twist this way. You know, so this is what, sorry about the reflection. That's gray, so, but this is where exploring all of these tools, your crayons, your paint, that's very wet ink in there, scraping. You know, there's lots of yummy stuff in there. Also turning it, let's just see. Turning it makes a difference. Just get that water off so I can see. Now, you see, that actually interests me more. Probably probably because that's not a composition I play around with much. You know, and there's kind of a neat tension with this rock shape up there, a big one under a small one. And what's nice about this orientation is now the light value is serving me, because it almost is pushing the weight down toward the bottom of this rock. We'll call it a rock, which its motion is toward that, which is kind of cool. And so it's fun because I kind of consider this a bit of a puzzle, and that's why also I won't push too quickly. I'll do what I can to look at it, problem solve, turn it around, use the sheets of paper, take it into Procreate. I'll play over that, and sometimes I might have some leftover paint from another painting and then just smear it on, because I don't care. What I want is to enjoy myself, and I want to surprise myself. So I don't want this to be all safe. I want something beautiful. I want something that inspires me back, you know? So anyway, that's me, okay? We all have our own goals, so make sure you're following yours, and make sure that you make space for your curiosity and what it is that you want to bring to your art practice this week. Comments below if you have any thoughts, questions, anything you want to offer up to the other artists. That's what it's all about here, and making space to see what it is that you want to express in your work. All right, everybody. Meantime, have a great week, and bye for now.